All things fantasy, and in today's video I'm going to do a lineup review of another head-to-head against the pro. And in this week's video I played Condia. So taking a look at our lineups, um, I went with a Matt Ryan Taylor Gabriel stack. He went with a naked Tyrod Taylor, and I think the big thing was the difference in our lineups was the running back plays and a few key receiver plays that really made the difference. Our lineups were pretty similar altogether. He was pretty heavy on the Atlanta game. You can see we had the same kicker, Matt Bryant, and he went with Sanu. I went with Gabriel. Gabriel ended up being the better play, but not a terrific play. But yeah, Matt Ryan had a decent game, not a crazy game, but a decent game. And there wasn't too many great games besides Drew Brees at quarterback, so Matt Ryan was a fine play. David Johnson was in a great spot, so I went with him on. I went with him, and he had a decent day, but not great for the amount of points they put up. And then LaShawn McCoy was like one of the best running back plays of the day. Having him really helped me in a lot of tournaments and helped me in this head-to-head. He put up 30,000 or no, 30.4 at a 9,000 salary, which is really good compared to Le'Veon Bell, who put up half of that at a similar price point. And then J.J. Nelson was a fine play. I think he had a touchdown, and at a really low salary, that was a nice play. I wish I had a lot of Atlanta. I had a lot of Arizona exposure, but I didn't have a lot of the Saints exposure, which I really liked because obviously you see that they have a very high scoring day. So I would have loved to have some Breeze Cook stacks, but that was like really the only place only place I went wrong this week. I was pretty much on the right guys. And then Antonio Gates was like my big bust. I was really loved Antonio Gates, but he just didn't produce. I did have some Kyle Rudolph and some other guys too that did produce. That was good, but Gates was kind of one of my big busts of the week. And then Matt Bryant obviously had a really good day. When their team puts up 41 points, your kicker is going to do pretty decent, and he had a great day. And then the Ravens D was kind of a bust. I like the Ravens D, but I expected the weather to be a factor, but it wasn't as much of a factor as I thought it would be. I also liked the Patriots D, and they ended up playing really, really well, and that was definitely the better play. Yeah, so the defense did hurt me a little bit, but if you look at his lineup, like I said, he had naked Tyrod Taylor, which wasn't a horrible play, but could have been better. David Johnson, same play. Le'Veon Bell, talked about. He didn't have the freak week that he had last week and kind of came down back to earth. Matthews, I didn't really like this play, but he ended up going with Jordan Matthews and didn't really work out for him. Larry Fitzgerald was an interesting play. I like the thought process, but J.J. Nelson kind of ended up taking the touchdown and having the better day. And then Sanu, like I said, I like the thought process behind Atlanta receivers, but I kind of picked both the better receivers for the Falcons and the Cardinals, and he kind of picked the worst ones. So that right there kind of gave me an advantage. And then we both had Gates, so it didn't hurt me that Gates had a bad game there. And then we both had Bryant, and then he had the Chiefs deal, which did better, but I don't regret taking the Ravens deal. I like their spot. Like I said, I could have been a lot worse. You could have had, the Cardinals deal, the Saints deal, a defense like that, or the Niners deal, which I don't know why you took the Niners deal, but you could have one of these defenses and, got hit really, really hard. But yeah, I feel good about beating Condia now. I've won 2 straight in these head-to-head versus pros, so I feel really good about that. Um, you know, FanDuel was pretty good to me. This was like my main cash lineup. I really liked it. But now let's look at my a tournament lineup on DraftKings that I did pretty well in, and it could have been really good, but I had 1 dud. So here it is. I had an Eli Odell stack, and it didn't hit crazy, but it did good enough, and it was low owned. So that's what I really liked. Eli at 3, and then Odell at 12, which is really good. Obviously, Taylor Gabriel was like the big cash play of the week. And Shady, I was kind of surprised to see LaShawn McCoy so highly owned, but he was. But I really loved him, and obviously he reduced. I think a big play was Ty Montgomery that I had. Obviously he listed as a receiver, but he really played running back, and with 2 touchdowns, and he had 100 rushing yards. Like, he lit it up. Just a great play. The best receiver play besides Brandon Cooks, and he was really a running back, so it was kind of like a 4 running back lineup. And then obviously Gabriel had played pretty well. And then talking about my tight end, this was my lineup. I had Kyle Rudolph instead of Gates, and obviously Rudolph had a much better game. 17.7 points is very good for a tight end, so definitely love that. The Garrett Blunt, I like that he got the touchdown. Obviously, I kind of expected him to get a touchdown, but only 31 rushing yards really hurts, and he didn't catch the ball because they have Lewis now. So that kind of sucked. And Lewis had a ton of yards too, but for his price, you can't be too mad. But I would like to have a little bit better of a game. Yeah, and then the Patriots deal. Yeah, like I said, killed it. They had 3 points, and I really hated Denver's offense. The only thing I didn't like about that was that this was in Denver, but I did like the Patriots D there, and it ended up working out with 17 points. That was nice. So the only dud in this lineup was Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was my one really risky play in this lineup. I felt like, and I was kind of disappointed to see that he only got 6 carries. The way that I was looking at it when I was doing research is that it seemed like they were gonna give him a pretty good workload, but maybe I just was looking at the wrong sources, and he ended up not getting the work that I thought he would get, and I thought it would have been a good spot against the Colts to run on him, and he ended up only having 22 rushing yards, and then 1 catch and a fumble, so he was really a big dud, and that really hurt me from having some huge paydays in tournaments. But 164 was still a pretty respectable score for this week. Obviously, we really only having 1 true dud in this lineup, so let's look at the first place lineup to compare it to real fast. So this guy posted 230 points. He had obviously the Drew Brees, Brandon Cook stack, which lit up, which went off. He had Zeke and Freeman, who both went off. Obviously, he had all the nuts plays. Ty Montgomery, Rudolph, Thomas, Nelson. So obviously a lot of the same guys that I had. Like the Nelsons, the Kyle Rudolphs, Montgomery, but he just had the better stack, and then both of his running backs went off instead of me having my 1 dud. And yeah, so but he went with a double stack with Thomas, which is really interesting. He really favored that game heavy. A lot of Arizona, a lot of Saints. I'm surprised he didn't go David Johnson, but I kind of see his thought process behind it because David Johnson would have taken away mainly from Nelson's production. So I kind of see what he was going for there. But great lineup to him. Great lineup. Congratulations to him. Took home. Definitely a really good amount of money with this lineup. So good job. But yeah, that was my week 15 lineup review. Head to head versus Condia. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.